It's 4 o'clock in the morning. What are we fighting for?
All right, so I have stayed pretty tight-lipped about the state of the industry and how I felt we're going to come through this in the end. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm sick of holding all of that shit in here. So gather around, kids. It's time to have a heart-to-heart. This one's going to be rough. I do have a script because I have a lot to say. So the truth is, guys, right now, at this particular moment, we are fucked. Small business, probably toast. Medium business, maybe you'll get lucky. Large business, maybe a slightly bigger chance that you'll get lucky. Bear in mind, that's best case scenario. As things stand right now, it's not worst case, it's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we kiss all of vaping, bye-bye. But why? How could they do this to us? Here's the unfortunate truth, guys. We did this to ourselves. As a good friend told me, at the very least, we bent over and let them fuck us right up the ass. This isn't for every person who listened to calls to action, donated when they could. We're positive representatives to vaping as a whole. See those who dress half decently at council meetings. This is for the rest of you. Fuck you. You all bitch and moan now. I'm going to tell you some things that I know. I have watched Safada tear itself apart due to egomaniacal politics and personal agendas. I watched one of our best advocates get cast out as a response. That was done by people protecting us, not the FDA. By the way, we won't be renewing our membership. I've seen large, and I mean large, vape companies say that it's against personal policy to donate to advocacy or trade organizations because they don't want to help their competitors, and they feel that they will be fine. This has happened, and it's disgusting. It is 100% absolutely fucking disgusting. I've watched hearings where representatives have passed out handouts with trademark infringing labels of children's products. They absolutely saw it. They absolutely used it. I've watched companies capitalize off that controversy. I've watched companies release brands specifically to piss people off. And I've watched people buy it. I've watched people buy into it, and I've watched their numbers soar through the fucking roof. That's awful. Fucking awful. I've watched a million people that know nothing about politics claim to be experts and know the solution when they don't know shit. I'm one of those people. I listen more than I speak. I don't really know shit. And I've watched multiple groups crop up under these ideals and split what little funds any of them actually have to fight in the first place. We have consistently been divided as advocates, as vapors, and we are fucked. On the other side of that, though, I've watched a million people do nothing, expecting someone else to save vaping, then complaining that it's too late, and they were failed by these other organizations when they did nothing themselves. You don't know how many times I've heard somebody say, this organization has never done anything for me. What has this organization done for me? What the fuck have you done for yourselves? What have you done to benefit vaping, rather than blame organizations for failure? I've watched major groups put outright bans on advocacy content because they were sick of seeing it. And I've watched advocacy content over the course of 3 years of doing this go largely ignored next to the shittiest of handcheck. I've been on stage with fellow advocates to talk about saving this industry, only to be interrupted by an event host to make an announcement about the cloud comp. I've then watched that comp gain 2 times the number of listeners, or more, from the advocacy conversation. I would just like to state that this specific instance that I'm talking about was after the regs dropped. Like, within 2 weeks, and still nothing. Still, it was better than most turnouts, but it was still unimpressive, largely. I've seen all of this, and it paints a very clear picture, and it pains me to say this, but we fucked ourselves. We couldn't mobilize in the fear and reality of massive interests that want to take us down, that want us gone. Instead, we dug ourselves deeper into a hole. We fought amongst ourselves. We fucked over each other and played politics and ego, or just didn't care. So here's my advice to you. Plan an exit or get your shit together. At this point, it will take every vendor, every person. Every person will have to do every call to action. Donate what they have. We have a small chance, and I'm not optimistic about it because I've seen the way this has gone, but I can dream. I can dream that maybe one day we will really pull our shit together. That's the end of what I have scripted for the most part. I can dream that we can pull our shit together. I can dream that we will come through this, but I'm not optimistic about it. I don't think we will. I don't think we will because I've watched this not go our way so many times. I have been doing this for 3 years. I have been largely involved in advocacy for 3 years. I have donated a huge portion of my life to this industry. And I started so that I wouldn't be a smoker for my daughter, so that that cycle could break with me. And now I have to watch that all get taken away. And I have to watch all of that get taken away, not just because of the FDA, not just because of the government interests that are against us, but because we couldn't get our shit together as an industry, because we didn't care enough about the lives that this saves, because we focused on petty, stupid bullshit rather than saving lives. That's what we focused on. That's what we cared about. That's what we put stock in. My heart honestly goes out to every vendor that I've ever known that will be out of business. I feel so strongly for those people, the friends that I have made who have sacrificed their whole lives for that. Thankfully, I am not in that position myself. If our business closes, so be it. But for a lot of other people, it will not be that way. I feel bad for the millions of smokers who are fucked because of our arrogance, of our ignorance, of our ego, of our inability to work together and focus on what actually fucking matters. I do want to thank all the advocates out there who have worked tirelessly to almost no thanks. There are a lot of you. You know who you are. And to all the people who really did what they could. And there are a lot of you too. The problem is there just wasn't enough. Everyone else, take a look at yourself before you blame somebody else. I'm no exception to that. I'm sure I could have done more as well. That is my thought process on this. We have that much of a chance left.